Back with Maddie Levine, presented by Fight Bananas.
We back. What's going on? It's your host, Maddie Levine, on the Peel Back, and we have a bunch of episodes already. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for listening each and every week, because it's been such a blast talking to all my favorite fighters and just shooting the shit with everybody. This is something I love doing, and I'm so glad that you're a part of it. And this week, we got a really cool guest. He had an incredible performance at UFC 287. He's a member of the New England Cartel, and he is a new dad. So let's talk about all this stuff. What's up, Rob Font?
How you doing, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. It's good to see you. It looks like your eye is finally starting to clear up just a little bit.
I'm getting back, healing up a little bit, but we're not too banged up, we're not too banged up, so I'm happy,
Yeah. Well, I just gotta say, I was lucky enough to see you perform live at UFC 287 Miami. I was living my best life at my very first UFC night. That shit is wild live. Like, that is so different than from watching it on the couch with my cats. Which fight number was that for you in the UFC?
I think that was I want to say probably 16th fight. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, UFC, I believe. Yeah. I got
does the magic ever fade for you, or is it just wild every time?
It's wild every time, especially coming from the Apex. I haven't fought in front of a crowd like that since 2019 in DC. And DC was cool, but it wasn't like Miami. Miami was sold out. That place was intense. So, I felt that in my soul when that place erupted. It was just crazy. Right when I put him down, the ref pulled me off. The place just went crazy. Like, it feels so good to feel that feeling.
It was deafening.
Like you can't hear anything. It's just everything's just chaotic. It's going crazy. It's just like a feeling you get, and it's like I just love it, man. It's like I wish everybody could feel that once, because like it's really addictive, man. It's really addictive. Man.
Yeah,
that place
is
erupted,
And I can't believe I didn't put two and two together. Like, your last fight was at the Apex before all of this pandemic nonsense.
Yeah.
Did anything feel different this time around? I mean, it must have been a rush to finally see people in seats.
It felt normal. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't like, Apex gets a little awkward. It's just like maybe 60 people in there, so it's kind of like, it feels like that Ultimate Fighter. It feels like you're trying out. It feels like it's your first amateur fight, so it's awkward. And then when you get to obviously the UFC, you're used to the big crowds, used to the big arenas, and I mean, to go back from that, it was a little awkward at first, but then obviously I got used to it. Doing it with Calvin, and then obviously doing it myself. But then to come back in front of the crowd, it just felt right. The walkout felt right. You have everybody like cheering you on. You got people booing you. You got the crowd. The music is just different. The lights are different. The heat. When you walk out, it's different. I got my sister and everybody. They're going crazy. So it was just a great feeling, Then obviously afterwards, like, everybody's just showing you love. So there's no better feeling than like having that full house, and the place was sold out. So it was a little extra in there,
Yeah, I was looking around and I was like, I don't see a single empty seat in here. Like, from the very start of the card, like, it was such a cool vibe. It was so fun. But what a showing. I mean, I hope you're super proud of your performance. I'm sure, like, every champion, every fighter is always critiquing something, but I think that was a pretty solid showing, right?
Yeah. I felt like, I showed, that like the moment I get my jab going, it affects everybody, not just some people. Like, it disrupts their rhythm, disrupts their pace, and for the most part, it sometimes hurts people. I hit him with one, and he was just wobbled off of the jab. So it's like, knowing that, getting hit by a jab, I think guys are like, oh man, hold on, and they start thinking. And from there, I try to turn the pace up to keep the pressure on them and get them to overthink with just like basic feints and footwork. And I think I did everything I preach and explain and try to teach. I felt like I did that on or April 8th. So it was good to kind of go back and watch and like, all right, cool, staying long, using my footwork. I'm listening to my corner at the same time. I'm using feints. I'm making him overreact, and it was just everything felt spot on. And then again, I'm in Miami, beautiful weather, families out there, the crowd's crazy. Everything just felt right.
I was watching you on the MMA Hour yesterday with the man Ariel Hawani, and you touched upon your last fight, the Cheeto fight,
Yeah,
and you said something about how it was the first time you really got beat up, or you felt like,
yeah,
okay, that's what it feels like to get beaten up.
yeah.
It got me thinking though about maybe young Rob, and I'm like, I mean, he's had to have been in like a scrap or two. Like, what was young Rob like? Were you getting into scraps as a kid, or did you wait for the fight game later on?
Yeah, it was honest. I didn't fight that many times when I was growing up. It was like a couple scuffles here and there, like at football games and like playing outside, like just being out hanging out in the neighborhood. But it wasn't a lot of fighting. Honestly, I did get bullied when I was real young by this girl, and I didn't end up fighting her. My sister came and saved my life, but it wasn't too many fights, and I didn't even grow up watching it. I did grow up like watching a lot of martial arts movie and like Three Ninjas, Power Rangers, all that type of stuff. And I did like Taekwondo for like maybe like 3 months, but didn't take it as serious when I was younger. I was trying to do everything when I was younger. I was 1 month I was playing soccer, the next month it was baseball, basketball. I just kept, I was that kid that couldn't stay still. And then and I even found martial arts late. I was 21 once I really understood what the UFC was, what MMA was, and all that. So yeah, that wasn't too many fights, and it was unfortunate, which I guess is okay, that it took me a while to really feel like I got beat up, So I guess that's pretty cool, but it's one of those feelings you never want to feel again. It's like it's the worst feeling, man.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be like, yeah, I got my ass beat. That was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody. But with a fight like that, you certainly come away with a lot of life lessons, right? And for you, what do you think changed for you the most mentally? Like, what kind of growth did you get from an experience like that?
Yeah, it's more of like just consistently being professional. Like when I first started, I would say no to everything. I wouldn't go to any party. I wouldn't take trips. Guys, but I would win a fight and I would just stay home, and kind of got away from that a little bit. And it was like more of like I wasn't out there acting a complete fool, but it was a trip here. So I'm saying yes to this event when I should have just been home. Little things like that, and they catch up to you. And then like getting, like I started noticing after that Cody fight, it was just kind of like, all right, yeah, I'll go here, I'll do this, and then ended up traveling a little bit more than usual. And I think, it all caught up to me for those last two fights, and I was just like, and it was crazy. It wasn't like that much. It wasn't like I wasn't doing that much. It just felt like if I had to look back and tighten everything up, it'd be that. Like just getting back to saying no and not even worrying about it. Like it's your birthday. That's great. I'll send you something. Like we're not going out. We're not doing this. Because the weight
Sounds like
felt.
it helped you get back on the grind.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It was like just making sure because like it's at this level like you can train, but then there's the guys that just train all the time, and then especially if you get caught up, and I'm a pretty big 35er, and like if I 1 or 2 bad weeks and I get too heavy, like it's going to be a hard cut, and everything just felt off that night. And it was just like the cut was off, the week was off, the night was off. I didn't really even want to warm up. It was kind of like, just hurry up and get this over with, and like kind of had that embarrassed feeling of not making weight the day before. Kind of walking in knowing I didn't make weight, so there's that little bit of that. Throwing a bad attitude, and it's just kind of like just a bad night. And I guess I got in there, and which sucks because like all of that, knowing all that, and I go in there and I do decent. I do drop a lot of punches. I do land a lot of punches. I break my own record for like significant strikes.
Right.
I made the most money from all my fights because Dana, like, he FaceTimed me in the hospital, hooked it up. He gave me my my win bonus as well. So it was kind of like, but it's like coming off of the worst experience I ever had. So I'm like all conflicted. I'm like, this is great. Whatever, I did something, but then I'm like, all right, I'm thinking, do I
There's
still
that
have
huge
power?
but. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like I just hit him with 1,000 punches and he just laughed at me. It wasn't even like, like I'm like, what did am I not sitting down on my punches anymore? So I am kind of thinking about like, all right, do I still have power? Can I still knock people out? I haven't finished a fight since that Marlon Moraes fight, and it's kind of like, like, damn, it's been a while. So like there was a little, thinking about, all right, let's tighten this up, get back to what we were doing, like, and just take it up to that next level. Sit down on my punches more. Obviously, work on that defense, make sure we're never getting hit. And, obviously it's still kind of hard to do with this high level, but it's like really laser in, really focusing on like just the small things again and get back to it. And I think it showed this last fight. Like the moment I heard him, it was like, it was all in my hands. There's never a point where I felt like he was going to ever come back. It was like the moment I heard him, I was like, it was done. Like it was just a matter of what I'm going to hit him with, and to have that feeling, to get that feeling again and get that back felt amazing, to kind of know, all right, I'm still here. And to like, just to think that and believe it is one thing, but to go prove it to yourself is a whole another feeling. So it's kind of like I knew it, just I gotta go, I gotta go make sure. And
gotta remind them. I
yeah, I
gotta
just gotta
remind
remind
myself.
them, I
Tell,
gotta remind
tell,
them,
tell them who I am.
but
But yeah, I mean, that's such a sweet victory, especially, after lessons learned and all that stuff. And it was really cool to be able to see you. I was fortunate enough to see you like the week leading up and just watching your attitude and just like it just seemed like you kind of fell in love with it again.
yeah, it felt like I was back. We
Yeah.
had the big card, big pay-per-view. Like, and it wasn't even like in a cocky feeling. Like I knew I was gonna make weight. The weight was we were ahead of
Yeah.
our best camps. We were ahead everything. Baby girl's there with me, wifey's there with me. I'm just chilling. I got my mom. She came out. I got to go to karate combat. It was like it was a cool.
Yes, you did.
So we got to see Ross do his thing. It was just all around great week. The weather was great. We rented out a pretty cool Airbnb with a dope view. So every day I woke up, breakfast with a beautiful view. My baby's right there. The team's there, the family's there, everybody's there. It just felt right. We're back into our arena. Like it was, it wasn't just the Apex anymore. It was that big fight night feeling.
Right.
Then at that, it was a huge pay-per-view card. You got obviously the champs,
I
the
mean, it was
fighting.
wild. Yeah.
It
It
was
was
crazy.
everybody, man. But what I noticed most about that week leading up to it was your self-confidence and just this confidence that was exuding out of you. And it was like, you put in the work, you put in the time, and you're like, I'm ready. Like all that's left is fight night. And I think this is such a great lesson for people. You came off that loss, and then you even said yourself, like a lot of people were counting you out of this fight. Even your last opponent was looking past you, looking at the champ already, and you were like, "Slow down, you
Yeah.
got something in front of you." So, what advice would you give to somebody that needs some help bouncing back from a loss or bouncing back in life? Like, how did you do it?
Yeah, just be brutally honest with yourself, brutally honest with what you were doing, what you weren't doing. Um, you know, be your own coach in there as far as like making sure like the time you didn't run those miles, the time when you could have did more, the times you showed up late, and just make sure you don't do that. Try to control what you can control, and because this game is hard, if you can do that, the odds are only going to be in your favor, and being brutally honest with your performance, and from everything from your attitude, the way you approach everything, and just be completely honest and just level it up. And you can always do better. You can always try harder. Like Tyson always preaches, you can always try harder. Like it might not be the best, technique or the right decision, but as long as you keep trying and can control what you can control, you're gonna only get better. And obviously not really listening to to the to the naysayers and the doubters and the internet, really, like it's
Right.
like
It's so
they're all
hard.
gonna have they're all gonna have an opinion, and they're all gonna say this and say that, and which is great, but it's like, and I learned this pretty early too with watching Ronda Rousey. Like at my debut, I saw her like literally just get booed throughout the whole weigh-ins, right? And then the moment these same people that were booing her, the moment they would see her in the hotel live, they were chasing her down to get pictures. It was just kind of like, what the
Yeah.
hell just happened? I literally just watched you boo this lady, and it was like, nah, it's like,
Now
it's
you're
like
begging
something.
for a
Yeah,
selfie.
it's like now to the point where like she has to have her security kind of like block people off, and it was like, I'm like, all right, whatever, like, so I know like it's like, I guess it comes with this territory, you got fans that are just up and down, up and down, up and down. So like, just ignore the fans, ignore the critics, and just believe in your team, believe in yourself, and go out there and just have fun and perform, and it's easy. It makes it a little easier when you got a crowd like that. So I was just like, the whole time I was just smiling, and it felt like I knew something nobody else knew in that arena, like that was about to go down, and it was gonna be like
Oh,
a
that's
little,
awesome.
like a little, what I'm saying, like, all right, guys, like you guys forgot, and like I'm not like I felt like we did a good job of not like really doing the deep dive on him before, like as far as like doing interviews or anything like that. Because if you really break down who he's fought and you really break and look at what he's doing and the guys he's fought, it's kind of you're doing what you're supposed to do with the talent you're getting, you know. And it's kind of like,
yeah,
which whatever, you know. And I don't even mean that in a disrespectful way, but it's kind of like I don't get where, you know what I'm saying, you can fight the guys you fought, do what you're supposed to do, which is great, you know. And then you're going through talking a little bit of trash here and there, and you're talking about fighting Sean O'Malley, come fight with me. It's like, where's this, like, I don't understand where this confidence coming from, because it might not even be confidence, it's cockiness, because it's kind of I don't get where you come off, and it's kind of like, but then again, it's like maybe that's how he hypes himself up or whatever. But I'm like, there's no way he believes anything he's saying, and like, there's no way. And then like the more I seen him, the more throughout the week, it felt like, you know, like he was just like a small kid. I was just like, man, I'm gonna hurt him. Like, I'm gonna hurt him. Like, and it's obviously it sucks because it's easy to say it now because I did it. But I'm like, I feel like I could just grab him and just like really just manhandle him and you know, like, and I love
is that
Mitch.
that dad energy coming out for the first time, or
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so. It's like
yeah, that dad
no,
energy is real, man.
you know, no disrespect to Mitchell Poso, but I feel like I'm about to fight Mitchell Poso. Like, this guy's just little. Like, I'm like, I've seen this kid before. He's gonna be quick. He's gonna be whatever. And I'm like, I love it. But like, bro, I know what to do with this guy.
I'm
like,
gonna sun you right now.
you know, like, I just felt like, and like, obviously, again, it's easy to say that after I've done it and it's whatever. But it's like I just throughout the week.
Yeah, like I just feel like your last fight was a perfect example of like what self-confidence can do and preparation can do, you know? Like, yeah, okay, we came off a couple losses, but you were able to find that self-confidence, and I just loved that. So you get to put that to bed now. And I mean, everybody's chirping about UFC Boston. I mean, please tell me you got some type of information, because
man, I hope,
dying to know.
Yeah, I hope. I feel like I would have heard something by now, but it's like I
Yeah.
hope they actually just come to Boston. Like, that'd be great if I'm on the card, but I hope they just come. Like, because I'm hearing like it's 50-50, so it's like that's the hard part. Yeah, I'm hearing it's 50-50, man. Like, I heard it from a pretty good source, so it's kind of like you know. So
I guess
we'll
just have
see,
to. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. It's been far too long, you know.
I know.
We definitely would. I would love to see you on that card. And when you think about who's next, I've heard you throw out a couple of names. Jan was certainly one of them. What are your thoughts on rematches, though? Like, what would your thought be on maybe fighting Cheeto again and trying to get that back?
That'd be my first. Ideally, it'd be my first pick. Would be Cheeto. You know, I definitely want rematches. So that'd be cool because I feel like most of the division I fought, you know, you still got Pedro Munoz out there. He just got a W. That's the name that's kind of out there. But then it's like, it's tough because I'm in a weird spot, man. Because it's like the Cheeto and the Yan fight seem like the one that makes the most sense, right? But they're both coming off of losses. Jan's coming off, I believe, 3 or 4, and then Cheeto just coming off of 1. I guess on paper, Cheeto has a better record and all that, but it's like you got Jan as the ex-champion, you know. So it's kind of like what makes more sense? They're both, but regardless of it, they're both ahead of me in the rankings. So like, one of those fights is still a big fight. And then, you know, so you got Corey, Marab. They're probably going to get that fight, but you know, Sean's not going to necessarily fight anybody. He doesn't need to. Then you have Henry and the champ fighting. So like, and I definitely don't want to fight the number 12 guy again, you know. So I don't want to fight that far back. So it's kind of like, I feel like the only, and then obviously we thought the Davison Figueroa fight made sense because we thought he was coming up, and you know, obviously he's not coming up. So it's like I'm just in a weird spot. So it definitely is either going to be like Peter Yan or hopefully a rematch between like Cheeto and somebody like that. So that'd be pretty cool. Or if they don't do that Cruz fight, Cruz or Cody Garbrandt fight, I would love to get in there with Cody. Dominic Cruz is another big name, and that'd be great. But it's fighting backwards and it's coming off a loss. So only thing that would make it, you know, interesting is that he's the ex-champion and he's one of the greats. So I would love to get in there.
Like a legacy type of thing.
Yeah. So like I could definitely get up for that type of fight. Dominic Cruz. You know, I was watching him for a while. He's been in the UFC, WC since I started watching it. So like it'd be awesome to kind of mix it up there with a guy like that. But I think makes the most sense would be a Cheeto or a Peter Yan. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of what ifs and, you know, kind of like murky water. But your constant is always your lovely lady, Catherine. She is just like the sweetest thing. Like
Yeah.
every time I'm around her, she's like so smiley and just like
Yeah.
wonderful. Like, how did you land a woman like her?
Yeah.
When did you guys meet?
Yeah, so we actually met in Florida. She would she had some family that lived in the same neighborhood as I did, and she would come every summer. So and then I met her. I want to say, what year was that? It's been a while. It's like 2003 or two. It's been a while. So like yeah, it's been a
Okay.
while. Yeah, so it's been a while, but she would come every summer.
That's 20 years, bro.
Yeah, no, like that's like my best friend, childhood sweetheart, all that. Like you said we do everything together. We learned everything together from like everything we just learned together. So it's like we've been through a lot, and it's great to have her. Saying obviously in my corner. Like I know for a fact that I wouldn't be in the UFC if it wasn't for her. Like it just wouldn't happen. I wouldn't be able to do it, and like she makes everything so easy. Like it's like she gets it. She loves it. She understands the game. She's even getting better as far as like knowing what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to accomplish. She can tell I'm having a good day, bad day. She's had all my sparring sessions. She's just there, and obviously adding the nutrition, the laundry. You go through a lot of laundry. So it's kind of like it's so much, and it's kind of like she basically got a full-time job, and now she's taking care of two babies. But it's
Yep.
it's awesome. I'm so glad to have her on my side, and now even having her in my corner is even cooler because it's like she sees the whole process, and it's like it's a great feeling to have somebody like that.
Now, is she in your corner like dropping advice, or is she there for moral support? A little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. It's more moral support, but it's to the point where if I'm like like not listening to the corner, and she speaks up, so if I'm not listening to what Jake or Tyson is saying, and it's like clearly I'm just ignoring them, and it's basically if I hear her voice, I know I'm doing wrong, so like, but she's just there to, so she's there to kind of be there. She feels more comfortable to like being right there instead of being in the crowd. Like like it's just like she feels a little more comfortable, so that's cool. She likes being in the back with me. It's less anxiety for her to kind of like be just waiting in the crowd, or at the house or whatever. So she likes it. We did it at the Apex. We did it for both my main events, and it was like, I can't go back. I just got to have her there. And she, and obviously, God forbid, we got to go to the hospital afterwards. It's like she just feels better being there. So it's kind of like, it's pretty cool to have her. Like why not? And it's like why not have the best seat in the house for her? Like she gets to experience the whole thing from
front row seat. I love it. How would you say your love has evolved after having a beautiful baby girl, becoming parent?
Man, I feel like a lot. It's really have evolved. I'm getting. I definitely feel like I'm getting a lot softer. Like we watched Avatar yesterday, part 2, and it was the saddest movie I've ever seen. Like I'm sitting there crying. I'm like,
were you crying?
I was crying, man. It was tough, man. It was hard. I was trying to like hold it in, but it was just like I saw the little baby Avatar, and like I swear I looked like my baby. I'm like, oh my god, I can't. And it's like I can't do this, and it's like it was too much. But like it's just
over here
different.
like, what is happening?
It's just different. Like even after like the fight, I was like I couldn't wait to get back to the hotel, just look at her, just hang out, and just be there. So it's definitely like, and like we just stare at her. It's just like we just sit there and just stare at her and stare at each other, and like we're always like, yo, what the hell just happened? Like
she's always making the goofiest face. She's always like,
what's up? Like it's
like
kind of
deer in a head. Like it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen. But I love it. I love that. It sounds like your team's really, like, I mean, it's always been solidified, but it sounds like it's stronger than ever. And I mean, that speaks volumes to the success that you're going to see in the future. And I love it, man. I think it's great. And dad strength, it's there. It's clearly there.
It's real.
I mean, man. Like you're kind of a wimp now, but you're also like you got the dad strength. Like
a little more sensitive. I got a little stronger though.
Right, I love it. So we got a bunch of awesome fan questions in. A bunch of your fans want to know some things. We'll start off with an easy one. I don't know if you play video games or not, but they said 007 or Halo.
Ooh, 007 definitely when it was Nintendo 64. Or Halo, Xbox. Man, I gotta go 007.
All right, cool. I've actually played that, so I'm like, oh, I know that. Let's see. Oh, the first member of the cartel to win UFC gold. Who do you think is going to be?
It's gonna be a tough, man. It's gonna be a race between me and Cal. So
I was going to say, bro, how are you not going to say yourself?
yeah,
What are you doing?
it's gonna be a race between me and Cal, between scheduling. It's unfortunate that he got injured, but like we're both right there, 1 or 2 away.
I
So
know. I feel like you guys have such healthy competition. It's like
yeah,
you're
it's
there
tough.
for each other, but at the same time, it's like, I
Yeah,
love it.
this is a rough one, man. But it's gonna be one of us for sure. It's one of us for sure. Me or Cal. I can't answer that right now, but definitely gonna be one of us.
And then somebody said, what is your ultimate goal at the end of each day? That's kind of deep.
Ultimate goal. That's a good one. I definitely just want, obviously easy answers is just try to like look back and see what I did good, what I did bad. Try to like obviously fix what I did bad and forget what I did good and just constantly evolve and get better. But like definitely, especially with MMA, just try to get that 1% better. It's so hard, with all these fighters and all these gyms and everybody's getting better. So if you slack off for 1 second, you definitely be left behind. So like that's a great question. You should really be on it every single day, trying to see what you did right, what you did wrong. So yeah, definitely try to get 1% better.
And I think this is a good one to end on. What are your thoughts on Dana White's plan to build a PI in Puerto Rico?
That'd be great. I heard they're doing one in Mexico. I heard they got one in Mexico, China. Why not go to Puerto Rico, man?
Yeah, I guess he's got
I would
plans to do
definitely
that.
it. And they need to do some. I don't know why they don't go. I know they haven't done a card out there. I don't know what's the deal. I feel like we got to figure that out because that'd be awesome to get out there. There'll definitely be a lot of talent out there, unhidden talent. So we should definitely, get out there, get that PI going, and let's catch those flights.
Hell yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Let's go.
That sounds fun. You
and Ross need to come fight week now. I mean, you're part of the clan now. You got to come with us. Like
hell yeah.
Every fight week, man, we need you and Ross out there with us. So you're stuck with us now. You're stuck with the cartel.
I'm cool with it. I don't want it any other way, man. But this was so much fun. Thank you for catching up with us. And I'm sure all the fans of Peel Back are going to love seeing this one. Really excited to see what's next, man.
Appreciate it. Again, thank you for having me on. It's been great. Love chopping it up with you. And yeah, man, I can't wait to find out who I'm fighting next. And once I do, please, I would love to be back on this show. That'd be awesome.
I'll have to pencil you in. We'll see. We'll see if I can fit you in. All right, man. It was so good talking to you. I'll catch up with you soon.
Definitely. Have a